Hall of Famer Grant Hill here with me at the table, and Allie LaForce reporting from the sidelines. You take a look at the Celtics. Tip-off goes to the Celtics. Outside Tatum from deep three-point range. That shot off. And so it's Harden with it. He brings it up to the Suns. To the middle. Here's Edwards. Outside for Harden. And both backcourts in this one stand cream of the crop.
Well, a lot of people would say that this is a guard-oriented league. I think it's a league of all the positions. But tonight, certainly, whoever can win that guard battle will probably go home with the W.
Certainly the headliner tonight. Now here's Harden, providing this team some offensive stability. A little over 10 points a game.
I mean, with the ball in his hands, Harden's as creative as anyone.
There's Tatum with the three. Again, the miss by Boston. All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Well, I had a chance to talk with head coach Joe Mazzulla. I asked him how they'll approach the matchup against James Harden. Coach told me, well, James is at his best going to the rim and operating behind the three-point line, so we want to try and force him to work in that in-between area as best as we can. They'll be following the analytics with that defensive strategy, B.A.
Okay, thank you, Allie.
Well, he's been very good at the line, and we all know free throws can make or break you in the end.
One thing you can say about Boston, Grant, they know how to put a team together.
Yeah. The Celtics' consistency of winning is just impressive, both now and throughout their entire history. They are really the gold standard in this league, and it's mostly because of great draft picks and great trades.
Well, Edwards is such a strong player, skilled at absorbing contact and still finishing.
Back to Holiday. Pass to Brown. From deep three-point land. Richards pulls it in.
Far from an ideal start, only 1 for 5. Let's see if they can turn it around.
There's a screen. And he's going for the lob. And Edwards slams it in.
Well, the athleticism Edwards has is off the chart. He makes those alley-oop catches look effortless.
Outside White. On the wing, Tatum. Porzingis sets a screen. Takes a three. And that one off the back of the rim and in.
Allowing the play to develop naturally. Terrific patience by Tatum in the screen and roll.
Outside Edwards. Six to shoot. Banked it in off the glass. Edwards has got 6.
Edwards plays with such velocity.
Pass to Holiday. Fires for 3. And it's Phoenix with a rebound. There's a minute 59 left in the first quarter. Here's Harden. He's got 5. And he lobs it up to the rim. And Edwards slams it in.
Everyone knows Harden is a talented passer. He can really rack up those assists.
Outside Porzingis. Off the mark there with a 3. And it's Phoenix's ball. They're on a 13-5 run. And Edwards slams it in.
The offensive game plan is clear. Get it inside and go to work.
Yeah, and until the defense makes an adjustment, there's no reason to go away from what they're doing.
You know, this team relies on Tatum hitting those shots, and that's why he's such a high-volume three-point shooter.
And you look at Jaylen Brown, Grant. Not many wings have the strength he has.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown could dunk over a brick wall, and he could dunk through a brick wall, too. It's just so hard to move him off his path when he's on his way to the rim.
And there's a 3-second call. This one on the defense. And this will be a second trip to the free throw line. And the technical free throw is good.
And one of the most prolific offensive players of his era, James Harden. The Beards led the league in assists and scoring, and very few guys can say that.
Here's Pritchard. Right now contributing around 10.5 points a game. Horford outside. Pass to Craig. Craig with a screen. From downtown. And again, Boston with the triple.
And that's what they want to do. Get him open looks early.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Dunn outside. Edwards with it. Hayward picks him up. Now here's Harden. And there's the lob. And Edwards slams it in.
And the lead increases on a crazy offensive sequence.
Man, the dunk alone would have been incredible, let alone the fact that it came off a pinpoint pass. Anthony Edwards has been on display for the Suns. He made a big impact, scoring 12 points. If you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Suns.
Well, the way they've been attacking inside is phenomenal. Consistently getting high percentage looks, and that's what great offenses are all about.
And another thing, they found the open man. Really playing unselfish basketball, moving the ball around there on the perimeter.
All right, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Brian, it's great hearing Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla talk shop. He said everybody tries to break basketball up into offense and defense, but it's one game. Your spacing, decision-making, and shot selection set up your defense. That transition happens so fast, so the game is constantly changing. It's all connected, Brian.
No question. Thanks, Allie. Good stuff there. No good on the second free throw. And there's a bevy of young talent in the NBA right now. Who are you most excited to see grow into a star, Stan?
Well, what I'm really excited about, Brian, is to see which of these young talents becomes true stars, transformative guys. Certainly, Chet Holmgren and Wembanyama have already had this great rivalry. Scotty Barnes has become the next big point guard. We see Anthony Edwards, Paolo Banchero. There's a lot of guys that could be the guy, and it'll be fun to find out who actually develops into that play.
As the torch is passed, who's going to take the mantle? Here's Pritchard. Out to Horford. Screen by Horford. Pass to Hayward. For 3. That one goes. Now he's 1 for 2.
Yeah, a quality shooter from beyond the arc. Can't let Hayward get room to fire from the corners.
Conley with the ball. Yet to see a basket. To the paint. Here's Prosper. That one's good. And it's Conley who picks up the assist.
They just look so overwhelmed inside. Yeah, that's why they continue to get attacked.
Outside Craig. Pass to Walsh. Back to Craig. Out left to the wing. Here's Pritchard. Craig inside. Here's Walsh. It's Hayward on the wing. Second chance effort. And that one's good. Hayward's got 5 points now this quarter.
Something that's evolved in this league. The level of strength training. Hayward can now easily muscle through contact.
Coach closing in on 2 decades in the league. Al Horford continues to put in the work.
Well, Brian, that's what it takes to make sure your body is able to compete against players half your age. He's never shied away from doing all the little things.
Sinks that one from the post. And now just a 2-point Suns lead.
He came up dry offensively in the first, but it looks like he's ready to turn it around.
And he lobs it up.
And he's really improved as a playmaker over the years. Beal's basketball IQ seems to just get higher and higher.
Walsh, nice start for him, sinking his first shot.
And their shots are dropping with more consistency now.
And Mike Budenholzer decides to call a timeout. He's going to talk it over with his guys. So it's both teams making substitutions here.
Substitution on the court.
Here's Phoenix. They've led by as much as 10. Harden scanning the floor. Down low. And stolen by Porzingis. Right side Tatum. And the call will be against James Harden. That's his first foul of the game.
First personal foul. First team foul.
1:33 left in the second period. White can't hit.
And you just can't afford to give up that kind of look very often.
Outside Harden. Right side Edwards. Oh, it's blocked by Porzingis.
What a swat by the big man Porzingis. You always have to be careful shooting when he's lurking.
You know, Grant, in interviews, Jason Tatum often seems understated and soft-spoken, but that's just him, isn't it?
That's true, B.A. Tatum has a quiet confidence about him. He doesn't feel the need to be loud or act out. He lets his work on the court do all the talking for him.
Pass to Dunn. Brown with the steal. Here we go, one-on-one. Here's White. Oh, and there's the whistle on the shot. So 2 free throws for him coming up.
Well, look, if you're trying to slow down White, you first have to match his activity level.
And, Coach, you look at Derek White, maybe not the biggest name, but he is a winning player.
Yeah, Brian, he's one of the most underrated players in the league. He's got a great feel for the game at both ends of the court. He is tremendously solid across the board. The defense will take that miscommunication. Not even close.
The Celtics with the lead. Outside Holiday. Pass to Tatum. Let's go with a 3. Richards pulls it in.
One reason this game is so tight is because both teams are hitting the boards with reckless abandon.
They set the screen. 6 seconds separating the shot and game clock. Dunn outside. Now Edwards. Just 4 to shoot. Over Holiday. Here's Richards. Lays it up and banks it in. And the Suns lead by 1.
That's been the story of their offense so far. Getting a number of looks from point-blank range.
And we're through the first half of play here in what's been a good one. Phoenix out in front. They lead by 1. And we'll see you back here after the break. Third quarter action in just a bit. And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, this second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams trying to gain an edge. And Mike Budenholzer decides to call a timeout. He'll take the opportunity to regroup. And it's the Suns with the ball. It's a 1-point game. Next up, the Knicks in New York. That'll be the back end of a 3-game road trip. Here's Harden. And Porzingis with the block.
Got to be careful shooting around Porzingis. His length is so capable of erasing shots.
Oh, this is exactly the kind of opportunity you don't want to waste.
from deep three-point land. The shot, no good.
Gotta love how they've been crashing the boards, fighting hard for every miss.
Edwards with it. Now guarded by Brown. Clark, no good.
That halftime break didn't seem to do them any favors. Starting off the second half with 3 straight misses.
And let's send it over to Allie LaForce.
Well, after some down years in Dallas, Kristaps Porzingis said, I really checked myself. From that point on, I started building my game back up. Sometimes when you're younger, your physical abilities might already be there, but your mental is not. Once that all clicks, that's when you've got something.
Well, it's a good way to think of it. Thanks, Allie. Out of bounds. It'll be Celtics ball. It's a close game here in Boston. Pass to Porzingis. What a finish from Porzingis. Grant, there's a huge difference between talent on paper versus winning.
You're right, B.A., and it comes down to coaching, chemistry, and sacrifice. But I think the biggest thing is effort. All things being equal, the team that plays the hardest is going to win.
Edwards, that's good.
Well, it might not be fair, but most nights we expect Edwards to put up big scoring numbers. That's what you ask of your star.
Porzingis misses.
Yeah, not his best night in terms of shot selection. Lucky for him, his teammates have picked up the slack.
Here's Harden. And it's Jason Tatum with a rebound.
This is not how they wanted to start the second half. Just 1 of 5 so far.
Brown gets the bucket.
Well, when you're as polished and practiced a shooter as Brown, there's no reason to hesitate.
It counts, and the foul. That one on Tatum.
The defense couldn't collapse quickly enough.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. Second half of play here with just under 2.5 minutes passed. Outside, Brown. Porzingis, high post. White for 3. And it's Phoenix for the rebound. Right side, Harden. Inside. White with a steal. And here comes the break. There's Tatum with the 3. That one falls. Nice feed that time from Holiday. Tatum's got 9.
Backing up that last 3 with another 3. The defense has to stop giving them so many clean looks.
Left side, Harden. And he's going for the oop here. And it's out of bounds. Still Phoenix's ball.
Almost had the steal. You have to love the pressure defense.
Yeah, deflections are a stat that a lot of teams track, disrupting the offense's rhythm and flow.
You hate to pile on, but his poor shooting night has really hurt the team.
Third quarter action. Just under 3.5 minutes have passed. Hay hangs in midair and converts the double clutch layup. And the call will be against James Harden. That's his 3rd foul so far.
3rd personal foul. First team foul. Substitution on the court.
Here's Pritchard. Right now contributing around 10.5 points a game. Up and over Conley. Pritchard, no good.
Well, that one should be in his wheelhouse, but just off the mark.
Pass to Beal. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Conley. Celtics lead by 4. Fires from deep. Pritchard gets it to go. Pritchard's got his 2nd basket of the night.
As the deep shots continue to fall, you can sense the frustration growing among these defenders.
O'Neal. Oh, and a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
Yeah, his athleticism more than makes up for his lack of size. Allows him to compete even against bigger guys.
The legs of Conley, they work just fine getting out there on that break.
The three is up. Pritchard, no good. Suns trail by 3. And they're dialed in offensively.
Sure are. Staying in attack mode and at the same time playing under control.
Trying to get something going here in the half court.
Yeah, that's where they've been struggling to execute. They're getting torched on the perimeter. 4 of the last 5 buckets have been threes.
Outside Conley. Out to Beal. And here's the fast break. Pass to Pritchard. This one for 3. And again, Boston with the triple.
Here in the second half, they're really focused on stretching the floor.
Yeah, and where has the defense been? They've been content to let them fire away. They've got to close out to the arc.
And so it's the Boston Celtics with
37.
With 3 quarters behind us, let's see what this 4th period holds in store. Boston leading by 9. Here's Pritchard. Off target. That would have pushed the lead to double digits.
Well, sometimes it's just not your night. But despite his struggles, they're ahead in the game.
Hayward's shot is off.
Defensive breakdown there, and they got lucky. He's not going to miss too many of those.
And Mike Budenholzer decides to call a timeout. Coach clearly has something he wants to say to his team right now. A moment to hear from Allie LaForce.
Over that last break, guys, I got a chance to hear what Mike Budenholzer said to the team. Coach wanted his guys to ignore the scoreboard. He said, don't even look at the numbers. Just take it possession by possession, make every chance count, and we'll see where we stand at the end of this game. Back to you guys.
Appreciate the report, Allie.
And there's just so much variety to Beal's game. I mean, he's great off the catch and in transition. And right there, making a play off the bounce.
So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. The Celtics with the lead. Here's Hayward. And Conley grabs the miss. To the inside. Up top, Beal. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And we played through about a minute here in the 4th. Stolen by Conley. Uneasy, too, on the layup.
Yeah, not just a jump shooter. Conley is also adept at finding real estate close to the rim.
Pass to Pritchard. Here's the 3. Gets the 3 to fall. Pritchard's got 9 points here in the second half.
12 straight points off threes. This defense is not extending very well.
And the timeout called by Mike Budenholzer. No doubt he's going to utilize the opportunity to make sure they're all on the same page here. So it's Phoenix now. They trail by 9. Count that bucket.
And force feeding the ball inside. I mean, no reason to go away from what's working.
This is why you want ball movement and player movement.
And that's made it hard for the defense to key in on any one individual.
And here's Harden. There's the steal. Pass to Craig. Fires the 3. Richards pulls it in.
Yeah, you know, he usually makes you pay from that range.
Here's Edwards. Oh, Anthony Edwards takes flight.
What a ferocious drive by Edwards, fending off the defense with ease.
Here's Pritchard. And Harden with the block.
You wonder what the score would be if they weren't controlling the glass.
Oh, a sensational slam by Ant.
Wow, this is how explosive Edwards can be. He finishes with such force at the rim.
And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats for Boston?
Well, the defense hasn't done nearly a good enough job of getting back in transition, and they've taken advantage, racking up fast break points against them.
And another note, how about the way they've cashed in off turnovers, taking advantage when given the extra opportunity.
The Suns trailing. On the clock. Left side, Harden. And stolen by Holiday. White for three. Three-pointer goes up. Three-pointer goes down for White.
Look, shooting off the catch is something White's become really good at.
To the middle. Tatum with a steal. Here's Holiday. And the shot is good on the assist by Tatum. And it's a 7-point Celtic lead.
Assisted buckets. Every team wants them. They show you're running effective team offense.
Outside Harden. Edwards with it. Now guarded by White. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Anthony Edwards. That's his first foul.
And this kind of selflessness is great to see. Textbook positioning to draw the charge.
Pass to Porzingis. And he'll draw the foul. He'll head to the line for two. James Harden picks one up.
Using smarts instead of just strength. Porzingis uses the fake before attacking.
So he comes up empty, missing both. And Mike Budenholzer decides to call a timeout. He wants their game plan to be crystal clear at this point. Suns trailed by 7. A minute 9 left in the fourth quarter here. Brown with it, and Clark picks him up defensively. Oh, look at Brown banging inside.
Terrific finish there from Brown. He goes up strong and absorbs the contact.
Here's Edwards. And again, unable to change momentum here. There's Tatum with the three. Connects from downtown.
That's an inspired ball club. They fought hard, and during the most important moments, they made big plays.
Yeah, they saved their best basketball for this home stretch, and they certainly earned this one.
There's 39 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter of this one.
Suns foul. Anthony Edwards. Second personal foul. Second team.
And the first one at the line is good.
And when you talk about Jaylen Brown, you have to bring up his two-way ability. He's a pure scorer who can also guard the opposing best wing. There aren't a lot of guys like Brown in the league.
Back to Edwards. Shoots over Brown. Edwards can't hit. And so it's Tatum who brings up the ball for the Celtics.